What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Make sure you hit that like button when you come up in here. Already. Make sure you hit that like button when y'all come up in here. Already. What's good with you, bro? What's good with you? What's good with you? What's good with you, bro? Already. I'm gonna let some more of y'all come up in here real quick. What's good? What's good with you? What's good with you? What's good with you? What's going down? What's going down? What's going down? Already. already. Oh, what's the deal? What's the deal? Yeah. y'all ready? Is y'all ready for it tomorrow, man? Is y'all ready for it, man? Is y'all ready for it? So the Houston Texans tomorrow, week 4. Houston Texans, 0-3 Houston Texans, I might add, take on and host the 0-3 Tennessee Titans. Um, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. This might be the worst offensive performances that face each other all season. It's definitely the worst offensive outputs of week 4. They're facing off against each other. Both teams' offenses are completely anemic, and I'm gonna get to the numbers in a minute on how bad both teams' offenses are and how one team has a better defense. But these offenses are bad offenses. It might be one of, if not the worst, offensive output so far that we've seen all season, according to the numbers. Now, maybe now as the game goes on, it might not look like that because I can tell you that Minnesota and what game was that? Minnesota and the Atlanta game, those on Sunday Football a couple weeks back, that was a horrible offensive output to watch. And I think that both of those teams, both Minnesota and Atlanta, both need quarterbacks in a couple of years. Like both of those offensive outputs were just horrible and horrific themselves. So, but this one ain't gonna fit. According to the numbers, this one don't fare too much better. Like this is just not a good offensive matchup. But both teams need a win. The Tennessee looking for their first win of the season. Texas looking for their first win of the season. And I mean, they're starting to burn daylight if the Texans are really trying to get to the playoffs. Only one team only one team like in the last like 30 some years have made the playoffs after starting off 0-3, and that was the 2018 Houston Texans. But even though that team was 0-3, that team offense was better than what the offense that we see this year. And again, we know the team won 9 straight, and you could say they won 9 straight on some fluky fashion type stuff like that too. But that team had a better offense than this team right here. So, but like I said, let's get into some of the numbers though. So, like I said, both teams 0-3. So CJ Stroud for Houston Texans, on the season, he is 54. I mean, I'm sorry, 57 of 57 completions off of 89 attempts for a 64 completion percentage, throwing for 599 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So he has more interceptions than touchdowns. Been sacked 8 times on the season. Nick Chubb has rushed the ball for 34 times, has 141 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins got 14 catches on the season for 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, and had his first 100-yard game last week against Jacksonville. Dalton Schultz has 11 catches for 95 yards. Xavier Hutchinson has 7 catches for 75 yards. Higgins, the rookie, has 4 catches for 65 yards. Will Lance on the season has got a sack in every single game. He has 3 sacks on the season, and Daniil Hunter has 2 sacks on the season. So that's what the numbers look like for the Houston Texans. Cam Ward on the season, rookie Cam Ward, 50 as 54 completions off of 99 attempts for a 54 completion percentage. He's thrown for 507 yards. He has 2 touchdowns, only had 1 interception on the year. Bernard Pollard has not. I didn't get the carries, but has 900. I'm sorry, has 197 yards and a touchdown. Calvin Ridley has 8 catches for 1100 8 catches for 111 yards. And Eric Armour has 10 catches. The rookie has 10 catches for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has both of Cam Ward's touchdowns. So both of Cam Ward's touchdowns come from the rookie Alec from Stanford that they drafted in I think the 4th round. A receiver that Texan fans actually were talking about during the whole pre-draft process. Um, Shout out the Heartbreak Kid for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. I agree with the CJ Gardner release. He agrees with the CJ Gardner release. We're gonna talk about that too because um the thing about that is that it makes Nick Casario, it makes a lot of Nick Casario's previous decisions even look even more foolish. But hey, shout out to Heartbreak Kid for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. He said he agrees with the CJ Gardner Johnson release. It came out of nowhere. It did come out of nowhere. My thing is this: is that you're 0-3 and stuff starts happening. Stuff starts happening. Like I've been saying, I don't think that Nick Caley. I was saying this going into the season, and even after week 1 and also after week 2, that I didn't think that Nick Caley would get fired unless after 1 year, unless something completely goes off the rails and a potential 0-5 start could make something going off the rails. Because and then, like I said, if he does get fired after a year, other there's going to be other casualties. Something else will occur, and you're starting to see that right now. Even though we're not at that point yet, but 0-3, you got to make a move some type of way. Something has to be done, and CJ Gardner Johnson end up being the person that end up paying for them being 0-3. If they continue to lose and be 0-4 and 0-5 going to the bye week, there's going to be some other situations happen. Other people going to start losing their jobs. But shout out Heartbreak Kid for the Super Chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Shout out to that boy Chris for the Super Chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Legarius Sneed. Who? Who? Now, I don't know if you mean who to Legarius Sneed or you just mocking what Legarius Sneed said to Nico Collins. Either way, like for one, just see, he showed last year that he was a clown, and he's a complete front runner. He's a complete front runner. He's somebody that no one knew who you were when you was in Kansas City when you won 2 Super Bowls. I actually take that back. I don't think he won 2. Well, he only won 1. No, he didn't. No. He won 2. He won the last 2. He didn't win the first one. He wasn't on the first Super Bowl back in 2019. He wasn't on that team because he came out in the 2020 draft. So he won the last 2 Super Bowls with Kansas City. You see, Kansas City went to the Super Bowl without him, so they didn't need to get to the Super Bowl. But that whole thing about, and he hasn't faced Nico because when we played them last year both times, Legarius Sneed was hurt, and before that, Legarius Sneed wasn't. I mean, the year before we didn't play Kansas City, CJ rookie year, so he didn't. He hasn't seen this version of Nico Collins. The last time he seen Nico Collins was in the 2022 season. Because we did play Kansas City. We took Kansas City to overtime in NRG that season. That was when Davis Mills was the quarterback. So he hasn't seen this version of Nico. But like I said last week, and I'm not dialing that back none. Nico Collins ain't a top 10 receiver right now. Nico Collins ain't a top 10 receiver, and CJ Stroud not a top 20 quarterback. Yeah, I said it. And I think they both have the ability to be top 5 in their positions. I think that both of them have the potential to be top 5 in their positions. But as of right now, today, neither Nico Collins or CJ or Nico's not top 10 and CJ's not top 20. I don't care what you say. They're not. Because top 20 quarterbacks don't put up these type of point efforts. We're gonna talk about their offense in a minute. And a top 5, top 10 receiver doesn't fumble the ball in crucial moments. And then also on the last drive of the game, you out for 5 straight consecutive plays because your wrist hurt. Like you dropping first downs and things of that nature. So it's a lot of stuff this season that I feel like that both CJ Stroud and Nico Collins got to prove. But shout out Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. But like I was saying, let's get to the offense. Like I said, both of these teams have an anemic offense. Like the offenses are both like pathetic. So points per game. The Texans are dead last in the NFL with points per game. The Texans the Texans are 32nd with points per game, averaging 12.7 points per game. But Tennessee ain't too much better. Tennessee is 28th in points per game, averaging 17 points per game. Total offense as far as yardage. The Texans in total yardage are 29th in the NFL, averaging 267 yards per game. Tennessee is 31st in total yardage, averaging 221 yards per game. Passing offense. The Texans are 26 in passing offense with 172 yards per game. Tennessee is dead last in the NFL in passing offense per game, averaging 133 yards per game. Total run offense. The Texans are 23rd with 95 yards per game. Tennessee is 28th with 88 yards per game. The Texans' most points they scored this season is 19. They have not scored more than 19 points per game this season. Tennessee ain't scored more than 20 points this season. That's how bad these offenses is. So you're talking about scoring offense, the 32nd in Houston, Tennessee's 28th. Total offense, Houston's 29th, Tennessee is 31st. Pass offense, Houston is 26th, Tennessee is 32nd, dead last. And run offense is the only thing that I guess now it's not even respectable. Houston is at 23, Tennessee is at 28, and the team's most points they scored is 19 and 20. Houston 19, Tennessee's 20. Houston ain't seen 20 points, which is 3 touchdowns in the game. Tennessee ain't seen three. Tennessee hasn't seen more than 20 points in the game, but at least they got to the 20 part. Like Texas is still in the teens. Texas is still in the teens with a 9-point game, a 19-point game, and a 10-point game. Also, the Texans are 0-4 in the red zone. And not 0-4 as they ain't got touchdowns. 0-4 in producing points. They've been to the red zone 4 times and have come up with 0 points in those red zone appearances. 1 interception, 2 fumbles, and a goal line stand. Let that sink in. 0-4 in the red zone. 2 fumbles lost, an interception, and a goal line stands. They can't even get a field goal when they get into the red zone. That's how bad this offense is in the red zone. This is a putrid offense. This is a horrible offense. This is not a good offense. It's not. And Tennessee don't fare any damn better than damn self. Like this is the battle of the anemic versus bad offense. But let's look at their defense. Let's see how the defense is fair. So, scoring defense. The Texans are actually 5th in scoring defense, averaging 17 points per game. Tennessee, 30th in scoring defense, averaging 31 points per game against them. Total defense in yardage. Texans are 16th, averaging 300, allowing 315 points per game, 315 yards per game. Tennessee, 27th, allowing 373 yards per game. Pass defense. The Texans are 13th, with allowing 206 passing yards per game. Tennessee 22nd in pass defense, allowing 228 yards per game. Run defense. The Texans are 16th, allowing 109 yards per game. Tennessee is 29th, allowing 145 yards per game on the ground. The Texans, the most points the Texans allowed in the game is 20. Tennessee, the most points they allowed in the game is 41 last week against Indy. The Texans are the first team in NFL history to start off 0-3, I'm sorry, with only averaging 17 points per game scored against them. That's how good this defense is, scoring wise, because you can move the ball on this defense. This defense is showing you that you can move the ball on them. It's the whole bend but don't break defense. Oh, bend but don't break defense. Like you can move the football against them, but they will stop you and not allow you to score points. They stopping you. They'll stop you now. You'll get stopped and you won't score any points against them. But you won't score no points against them. But you can move the football against them. And against this, with this type of anemic offense that they have, this is like one bad play, one bad Baker Mayfield sneaks out, or a BTJ catches a 47-yard pass. One bad play will cost you the game, because without those 2 plays, the Texans will be 2-1 right now. Texans will be 2-1 without those 2 slip-ups from the defense. But the reason why is because the offense doesn't give you anything. You can't be that bad on offense and you can't be that bad on offense and be a bend but don't break defense. You gotta be able to stop them. And shout out that boy Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Organization is so dysfunctional. What a waste to let him go without trade, without a trade. And there's no there, and they're going now until we realize they ain't got no O line at the position. Yeah, uh, it was definitely a mistake the way they did the offensive lineman. Like I said about C.J. Gardner Johnson, that was like I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about, letting them go without trading them. Yeah, because even D'Amico Ryans, when they said was he trade, was he appointed even trading them, he said no, like very quickly. So evidently, it was something behind the scenes going on internally. We've heard rumors about maybe calling people out and things of that nature. So what? Uh, Again, if the Texans were 2-1. 3-0, obviously 2-1, even 1-2. I think C.J. Garner Johnson is still a Houston Texan. I think the reason why he got let go mostly specifically is because the Texans are 0-3, and you gotta make some moves. Shout out to the boy Chris for the super chat love. Once again, shout out to Chris once again for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. If the Texans don't have more than 28 offensive points alone against Tennessee, they will blow them out and will continue to struggle. Oh, you're saying I I'm certain that you're talking about like as far as like the Texans basically need to have an explosion of offensive performance. They need to go out there and basically BTA put belt ass against Tennessee and be able to put a whole bunch of offensive points and look competent on offense. Because even if the Texans win the game and they win 21-20 or they win 17-10 or they win 24-21 or they win 13 no, I'm sorry, they win 14-13, something of that nature. Like if it's a barely win, a struggle win, you're right. I agree. I don't think any Texan fan feels good in that win. I feel like Texan fans would not like that win at all, even though it's a win. But like I just pointed out the numbers of this is in some regards are even worse offense than yours the as far as the yardage wise. I mean, they worse in total offense, passing offense, and rushing offense. And this defense is worse in points scored, worse. The defense is worse than you in every metric, scoring wise, the total defense, passing defense, and rushing defense. All those things are the Tennessee is actually worse than you. Only thing that Tennessee is actually better than you in is points per game. That's the only thing that they're better than you at. Everything else, you're better than them at in every other metric, offensively and defensively. So you should be able to go into these numbers. You should be able to put up points. Now the thing is that both offenses, if the defenses allow their averages, it will be the best day for the defense. I mean, it'd be the best day for the offense. The defense could allow their averages. That's how bad these offenses are. If if Tennessee average yards per game is 373, if they get that, that is the most yardage that the Texans get. That's the most yards the Texans had. If the Tennessee allows they average at 228 passing yards. That's the most passing yards the Texans have. If Tennessee's run defense allows 145 yards, that's the most rushing yards the Texans will have all day, had all year. If they allow their average at 31 points, that smokes what the Texans have averaged all year long and what the Texans have. So if the Titans defense just have their regular day. And in some regards, they can even have a better day. Then they can have a better day than they've had all year long. It will still be the Texans' best offensive performance all year long. That's how bad this Titans defense is. That's how bad this Texans offense really is. If you want to be completely honest, that's really how bad. Because to be honest, now I know Jafar Sweat is not there, but they do still have Simmons. They still do have Simmons there, Jeffrey Simmons, and we know getting the CJ is a problem. They're able to get the CJ in the ground, make CJ flustered. We already know what's going on with Nick Caley. Nick Caley not getting the football to people like Jalen Noel, not even getting the football to Higgins or X. Like just not you getting the football to none of these guys. If you actually look at some of these guys offensively, as of right now, we don't have any game breakers, any game changers. I think that probably our best person on the offensive side of the football is obviously is Nico Collins. And I think a person who can have some type of explosion, has some type of breakaway, could do something spectacular when he get the football in his hands is a Jalen Noel. But yet we can't see Jalen Noel. We can't get Jalen Noel on the field. I think it's mostly because Jalen Noel doesn't know the playbook. And the evidence I have from that is the one time he got on the field last week against Jacksonville when it looked like it was supposed to be a jet sweep, and and CJ's supposed to hand the football off to him. He runs around CJ. CJ's handing off the ball, and he runs around. CJ is like, "What are you doing?" And then CJ dumps the ball off to him. He catches it, gets 10 yards, but it gets called back because of Ursary holding call, if I'm not mistaken. So it got called back. So that right there showed me that obviously Jalen Noel is not picking up the playbook the way he should. But at this point in time, when you're 0-3 and the offense is only you're the 32nd worst offense, not 32nd, you're the worst offense as far as scoring. You're the 29th in total offense. You're 26th in passing offense, 23rd in run offense. When your offense is just this bad and you have only put up 19 points, that's the most you put up, and you've only gotten what, one touchdown a game. Like the first game of the season, no touchdown. Last week had one touchdown. Week 2 was the only one you had. You had 2 touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns, Tampa. Let's be honest, Tampa Bay allowed that to happen. Because of that, you would think that Nick Caley would be like, you know what? I understand that he doesn't understand my playbook. Let me dumb it down some. Let me make it a little bit more easier for him. Or let me just get some plays. If it's just 4 or 5, and I think maybe he kind of got to that last week when you seen, because I think got on the football field on the offense side of the football twice. Like, let me dumb this down and let me put some plays out there just to get him on the field, just so we can see, get some splash on the field, just so we see somebody else to get some breakaway speed on the field, someone else to make some plays, somebody can be dangerous and have some type of juice on the field. Because it'd be different if your offense is putting up points and you moving the football up and down, you get into the red zone, you scoring points, you doing other different things, then it's all by all means, hey, if you want to get on the field, you got to get your head in the playbook and learn it. But when the offense ain't moving and grooving like that, hey, I need to do everything I can to get anybody I can that could do something on the field to get them on the field. So I feel like that's something that Nick Caley needs to do. And because we don't really have anybody on this team, we got to start looking like as the season starts going along. I know people are happy and excited about both Hutchinson and Noel. And I was even excited about, Higgins. I was excited about Xavier Hudson. I know people are excited about Noel and Higgins. That, hey, we might need to get some real playmakers on this team. And this could be, I know somebody put in the chat earlier about is it draft time yet. I know offensive line is definitely going to be a big thing, especially but I think something also got to depend on what we drafting in the draft. But we might have to start looking at also some type of splash players as well, as far as getting some pieces, because it seems like outside of Nico, and we don't have Tank right now, we don't have anybody else on this team, on this offense, that can actually do something, that can bring some type of splash to this offense. But we gotta find a way. We definitely have to find a way, and we gotta find a way to move the football. But I agree, the Texans have to. Shout out to Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. We got to find a way to put the football in the end zone multiple times, because anything else is going to be unsatisfactory. We're not going to be satisfied with a 17-14 win. We're not going to be satisfied with a 21-20 win. We're not going to be satisfied with a 10-0 win. We're not going to be satisfied with that. This needs to be a four touchdown, not 4 CJ touchdown. Total offense. This offense needs to put up 4 touchdowns. This offense needs to get 30 plus points. This offense needs to get 30 plus points. I'm calling the shot right now. Against Tennessee tomorrow, this offense has to get 30 points. 30 plus points, which means 4 touchdowns in the field goal. That gets you 31. They have to be able to put that up now. And CJ has to have a performance. He has to throw for over. He hasn't thrown for over 250 yards since last year, week 11. So we need to see him get 275 yards. We need Nico to have another 100-yard game. Like, these are things that need to happen for you to feel somewhat comfortable with the win. Because if those things don't happen and you beat Tennessee, you just looking at, yeah, beat Tennessee. You should have beat Tennessee. You should have beat Jacksonville last week because it's Jacksonville. You damn should beat Tennessee because I said this going into the season. I feel like Tennessee and New Orleans are going to be competing for competing to having the worst record in the field and competing for the number one overall pick. I thought going into the season that Tennessee probably would have the number one pick and probably take that number one pick, move back in the draft, and able to put some offense pieces because they need some weapons as well. They need some receivers over there because you're talking about a 75-year-old Calvin Ridley is their number one target. Like, so I feel like that they are going to need pieces over there as well. And I just feel like this offense is going to be anemic. It's going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And they're showing you that they're one of the worst offenses and worst teams in the NFL. So the Texans should win this game. The Texans should beat them. The Texans should be able to put points on the board. That's why you have to put points on the board. You have to show an explosion offensive output for Texas fans to feel somewhat. I feel comfortable with the Texans win. I feel good about the Texans win on Monday. You'll be able to go to work Monday, feel good about the Texans win because of they were able to go out there and put points on the board. Speaking of putting stuff on the board, make sure y'all hit that like button. I see more people jumping in here. People jumping up in here all up and down, but the likes ain't going. Man, put the likes on the board, dog. Hey, man, hit the like button, man. Get them likes. I mean, definitely appreciate that. Also, shout out to that boy Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Shout out to that boy Chris for why it won't click. Why it won't click? Hold on. Why it won't click? What's going on? Shout out Chris for super chat love. There you go. Shout out Chris for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. What you what do you want to happen if the Texans lose? Because they have to lose the players they have. There's no free agents. There are no coaches. What do you want? Oh, what do you? So what do I want to happen if the Texans lose? Fire Nick Haley. Fire Nick Haley. Nick Haley needs to be gone. Nick Haley needs to leave. I don't like this offense. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't care what this offense does tomorrow against Tennessee. I don't care what this offense does for the rest of the season unless it just completely like wakes up and becomes a very dynamic offense. But if they just tread water, if they just muck it up some, and they might have a game here. They're like, okay, a good game here, a good game there, good game there, good game there. I'm gonna look at this offense like I looked at Bobby Slowick's offense last year, and actually worse. Like I don't trust Nick Haley as an offensive coordinator. I think he's over. I think he's over his skis. I think he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't understand what he's doing. He's out there just calling plays just to be calling plays. He doesn't call plays to set up anything. He's not set. He doesn't have a bread and butter. He doesn't. Okay, I'm running the football to set up the pass, or I'm throwing the football to set up the run. He doesn't do any of that. Like he's not. He's just out there just XYZ Chrome back 11:45 down pass 02974 throwback shuffle run Z. Billy top flop. I ain't gonna stop. Ooh ah 39. 281 330 8904 halfback run Z X. Like that's what he's doing. Like that's exactly what he's doing. Like he's just naming stuff. He's just naming stuff. He's just looking and like that's what he's doing. He's not, like nothing that he's doing is setting anything up. Like he's not setting anything up. He's not calling something. And I'm gonna call. Hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this right here. and then I'm gonna come back to it once it start being successful. I'm gonna come back to it, and I'm gonna in that same formation. I'm gonna throw out of it. I'm gonna run all the time. So they gonna I'm gonna lower the defense to sleep and make the defense think they know about running. I'm gonna hit him over the head with a pass. Like the best thing that he did do. Now like I said, I give credit when credit due is that after Petrie caught the interception against Trevor Lawrence, and they went over the top, took a deep shot to Nico Collins. That's the best thing that they did. That's the best thing that he's done. That's the best thing. That's something I wanted Bobby to do that Bobby never did after a quick possession, take a shot. That's the most logical thing he did. Other than that, nothing else he did, nothing else he called was logical. Nothing else he called did any of that. Did any of that. So, to answer your question, that's what I want to happen. Because we're in the middle of the season, can't get no free agents. Ain't no offensive lineman gonna help you right now. You not ain't no big trade gonna help you right now. And to be honest, the bad thing about offensive coordinator is that you like who's gonna call plays. The only person on this coaching staff that's called plays before is is Bill Lazar. Is it Bill Lazar? Bill Lazor? Yeah, Bill Lazor. Bill Lazor. He's the only person that's called plays before. Uh, uh, Gerard Johnson, I know has a relationship with CJ, and I guess maybe he would be technically the next in line. Maybe you can even give it to Frank Ross and let Frank Ross call plays, but then I really don't want to take Frank Ross away from the special teams. So it's really like, and then also what philosophy they're going to run because everything is new, so it kind of junks up. But I feel like if you get rid of Kaylee, you go ahead and you get rid of the experiment and you let everybody know that this was unacceptable. This was completely unacceptable. And we also seen it with the Lions a couple years ago because we always talk about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson wasn't who Dan Campbell hired as his OC. Forgot who the other OC was, and Dan Campbell took play calling dudes away from him and gave him to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson shot off like a rocket as far as the offense. That offense shot off like a rocket. He started getting coaching opportunities, interviews, and then as we seen last week, not last week, this past year, able to get a head coaching job. We seen it. He got because if I'm not mistaken, we interviewed Ben Johnson when we hired D'Amico. Then the following year, he had opportunities, but he didn't take them. Him and Aaron Glenn decided to stay one more year in Detroit, and then they both left this past season, and they're out there doing other. You see exactly what their offense looked like last week with the Bears against Dallas. It looked very explosive. 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. I mean, Caleb Williams looked like how people thought Caleb Williams was going to look. Bill Lazor was Chicago Bears. He was a Chicago Bears offensive coordinator. I think he was an offensive coordinator in Miami, and he was also the offensive coordinator in Cincinnati before too. So again, I know that that's not a good choice. I understand that, but that's more so of if you fire Nick Caley, you got somebody else that has called plays before, and then that's who you would thrust into that situation if you chose to do that. Like, hey, we're gonna move on from Nick Caley. This is another person who could call plays and just get us through the rest of the season. So that's the only thing that I can really sit up here and be like, okay, we could do that possibly, but like that's the only like I just want you to get rid of Nick Caley. I'm no matter what Nick Caley does going forward, unless we just go into some type of offense explosion and CJ looks better than he did his rookie year. I just think that you just gotta find a way to move on. But I do think if you move on from Nick Caley, somebody else is going to get moved on from too. I don't know. I mean, they're being very coy about Joe Mixon. They're being very coy about Joe Mixon if he's out for the season. They're acting very similar to how they acted with C. Harris last year. So you can't trust them when it comes to that. Like, I mean, it is what it is. So let's talk about the game. Let's talk about what I think is going to happen because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Texans are a 7-point favorite versus Tennessee. It's at home, and like I told y'all before, depend on the situation, you get anywhere from 2.5 to 3 points at home just to be home. And a lot of that got to do with like obviously like the weather type of situation and also the caliber of teams. Uh, like you know what I'm saying, like the caliber of teams. Like Seattle, they get a 3 point of home favorite because of like it's the 12th man, all that type of stuff. Same thing with places like Green Bay and Chicago and Buffalo, like those. Unless the team is bad, so you get anywhere from 2.5 to 3 points just for being at home. So which means they're saying that the Texans, for lack of better words, are roughly around a 4 point favorite. They're 4 points better than Tennessee. And that's mostly because of the way the defenses are. Because the Texans scoring defense is top five, which is fifth in scoring defense. And then yardage, they're above average. They're right around average. 16, 13, and 16. Like they're right around average, while Tennessee is scoring defense is 30, passing defense, total defense is 27, passing defense is 22nd, run defense is 29th. So they're showing you how bad Tennessee's defense is and how good the Texans defense is, that they should be that much better. And this defense is, and both offenses are anemic. It's not just, Tennessee got a bad offense. Both Cam and CJ both had the same amount of touchdowns and roughly around the same amount of yards, but Cam has took care of the football better. Now, granted, two of those interceptions that CJ had were not his fault. Like the interception, the first one against the Rams was Higgins' fault because he threw it to Higgins and Higgins let it go. And then last week, the last interception that he threw, Ante Ursary let him get hit in his hand as the football was coming out. So it was just an errant throw. So, but we're talking about two teams that haven't scored 3 touchdowns yet. Tennessee's highest output is 20. Texans' highest output is 19. Texans' highest defensive output is 20. Tennessee's highest defensive output is 41. Like I said, I think this is two bad offenses. And I think that this is not going to be a fun game to watch. Texan fans, Tennessee fans, watch this game. And they're going to watch this game because we watch our squad. We watch our teams. So we're going to watch this game. The rest of the NFL and NFL fans are not going to be watching this game. And it's not going to be a fun game to watch. This is how I can tell y'all that it's not going to be a fun game to watch. The Texans are reaching out to people to come to the game. The Texans are emailing people to come to the game. Hey, make sure you get your tickets today. They ain't do that last year. They ain't do that for week 1. They weren't doing that during the preseason. They already see this thing slipping and going off the rails. So what do I think is going to happen? Like Chris was saying earlier about like the Texans got to have an explosive output, or Texas fans are going to be mad, and I completely agree with that. I know I said last week this was against my better judgment when I had the Texans. I picked the Texans to beat Jacksonville. And I said it was against my better judgment. This time, it's not against my better judgment. This time, it's what I think is more than likely going to happen. I have the Texans falling to Tennessee 13-10. Tennessee. I have Tennessee beating the Houston Texans 13-10. Cam Ward gets his first win. The Titans win back-to-back games inside NRG in Houston. And CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans fall to 0-4 and stare 0-5 in the face. Because next week we go to Baltimore. At Baltimore. At that. I have Tennessee defeating the Houston Texans 13-10. This offense is bad, y'all. Like, this offense is just bad. This offense is that bad. This offense is that bad that I don't really see a way out. I don't see a way out right now without some real moves being made. Without some real moves being made. I don't see it out right now. That's how bad this offense is, y'all. Like this offense, like I'm serious. This offense is just a bad offense to watch. This offense is just it doesn't look interesting. They don't. I mean, they look at Jacksonville wasn't a good defense last week. It wasn't. And the only real reason why you got a touchdown because you had a quick change of possession. You was on the 50-yard line and you threw the football down the field. And Nico Collins was able to get a double move. It was wide open because they had nobody. Oh, they had nobody helping safety. Having nobody helping safety over the top. That's it. Other than that, the offense is not creative enough. It has not. It doesn't have enough splashes. It doesn't have enough playmakers on it. You don't have enough people with juice on it. You don't do anything. There's nothing creative or innovative or special about this offense. Everything they do seems so hard. It seems like you're pulling teeth every time they do anything. Anything that gets done with this offense, it seems so hard to do. Every single thing feels, it looks so hard to do. It's so hard to watch. Everything. This offense does nothing easy. Nothing but get that quarterback sacked. That's the only thing that they do easy. Everything this offense does is bad. Everything this offense does is hard. Every single thing, even getting people on the field, it takes everything. This offense ain't good. And because this offense ain't good, this offense is in the neck. You think the offense that averages 19 points, or not even averaging 12.7 points per game, the highest score output is 19. And let's be honest, the defense allowed them to score a touchdown. In that instance, last week, they put up 10, but they only got that 7 points after the defense threw an interception and put them in good field position. Like, remember, this is the same offense that got a block punt and move the ball 0 times. It's the same offense that like I said earlier, on the season is 0-4 in the red zone. 2 fumble losses, an interception, and a goal line stands. They ain't even getting a field goal when they get into the red zone, and they only been in the red zone 4 times. That's how bad this offense is. And you expect me to pick them to score more than 2 touchdowns in the game? You got to be crazy. 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 Shout out that boy Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Do you think maybe CJ is wasting his potential with the Texans and their offensive scheme? Maybe if he maybe if he fits a different team like MVP Indiana Jones. Shout out Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. I do think that this offense scheme is wasting CJ's talent, yes. And it's hurting CJ, yes. And hurting his potential, yes. And costing him money on his contract and potentially costing him the ability to win an MVP. And not only just win the MVP, to win games, to score touchdowns, put points on the board, and win games. Because we've seen CJ do this in the collegiate level and more specifically in the NFL level. We've seen him do it in the NFL for an entire season. We've seen him do it in 2 different playoff situations. So we know that CJ has the capability of doing it. We know that Nico has the capability. We've seen Nico play well for 2 straight seasons. So we've seen how good we've seen what this offense can do. We see with the 2 best players on offense, which is the only 2 players that can actually do anything on offense. We've seen this. But Nick Haley's the person who's new to the equation. Nick Caley's the person that we haven't seen before. Nick Caley's the person that's new to the building and knew the calling plays and knew the running of offense and constructing of offense. All this is new for Nick Caley, which was my entire point during the offseason, during the hiring process, when they were trying to hire an offensive coordinator. I thought that the most important thing to hire an offensive coordinator was someone with play calling experience. But evidently, D'Amico Ryans, Nick Caserio, either one, both of them, it don't matter, thought differently. And that's the reason why Nick Caley is here. I have a video talking about that specifically and exactly what should happen in the future. But I don't know who decision that was. And right now, I don't really even care to speculate whose decision that was. Whoever it was, they made the wrong call. They made the wrong decision. They made a bad move. And they shouldn't have made the move that they made. Just simple. They made a bad move, a bad decision. They shouldn't have made said decision. And that's where we at. That's how we got here. That's how we here. That's how we got here. And that's why we're in the situation that we in. And this offense, like I said, this offense can't do anything. Can't do anything offensively. Can't move the football. Can't score points. It's just a bad offense all the way around. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you look at it, it's a bad offense all the way around. And they gotta do better. It just is what it is. It's a bad offense all the way around. They just gotta find a way to do better. It just gotta find a way to do better. And they are wasting CJ. Now to your point about Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes ain't no MVP, but like I was telling my cousin who happens to be an Indy fan himself, and he says it too. He doesn't. He doesn't have. He don't. He's not too fond of Danny Jones. He said he just think that it's because of who they played. I think I gotta give credit where credit's due. The offense is able to move the football. I think they've only punted like once or twice. I know Chris is happy. Hey, and you should be. Chris should be happy. Chris should be geeked up. Let's see if you'll be happy after tomorrow. Who Indy play? They play the Rams. Let's see if you'll be happy after tomorrow when they play the Rams. No, wait, let's get into that. Let's get into that. Hold on, wait. Shout out to boy Chris for the super chat. Love, definitely appreciate that. I never seen CJ so stressed at the podium. Yeah, shout out Chris for super chat love. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely like his CJ's body language altogether is terrible. We were talking about this the other day. Like CJ's body language altogether is just bad. Like the way he sulks, the way he's not like after a drive, after a bad play, he like just throws his helmet down and he sits there. He and just look just bro, get up. You are the franchise quarterback. You got a C on your damn chest. You need to be like one. If the offensive line ain't blocking, get in their face. Receivers run the wrong routes and catching, get in their face. Go look at tape at Tom Brady and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and who else? Ben Roethlisberger and even Matt Schaub. Matt Shaw got to with Andre on the sideline. Philip Rivers. Go look at some of these quarterbacks. Look at some of these quarterbacks. Get inside. They star receivers face. They Hall of Fame offensive lineman face. They Hall of Fame receiver faces. Get inside their face and be like, "Hey, bro, what is you doing? Do the hey, CJ just." That's how he look when you come on the sideline after a bad play. Like, get up, bro. Stop soaking. Stop whining. Stop doing all that damn whining. You look soft. Stop that. Stop being soft. You are the franchise quarterback. You are the franchise quarterback. You gotta sit in your chest. You are the leader of the team. They gotta lead, but they gotta follow you. You gotta lead this all 50. You have to lead the other 52 of the men on this roster. It's a 53-man roster. You have to lead the other 52. offense and defense. To a certain degree, you gotta lead D'Amico as the head damn coach. We win and lose with the quarterback. It don't matter what's going else is going on. Teams win and they lose with their QB. This is 2025. This ain't 1985. This ain't 1975. This ain't 1995. This ain't 2005. This is 2025. We win and lose with our quarterback. Our quarterback is up, we win. Our quarterback is down, we lose. Point blank. So you can't sit up there and just be, no, you gotta lead these 53 other men, 52 other men, plus the head coach and the rest of the coaching staff. You gotta lead them. So you need to go out there and lead. All this he young too. Y'all can forget all that too. This bro's in his third year in the league. Third year. Third year in the league. You know, you know Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl his third year. You know Tom Brady won the Super Bowl his second year. You know Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl his second year. You know Ben Roethlisberger won the Super Bowl his second year. You know that and Lamar Jackson's second year he won his first MVP. Bro, you in your third year. Third. So all that he young and all that, that time is over and done with. I don't want to hear about that young. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. Bro, you put them cleats on, you put them shoulder pads on, that helmet on, you got the damn C on your damn chest. You either go out there and play ball, and then when people messing up, get in their face and tell them what the fuck to do. Like, come on, like just quit. Like, come on, tell them what to do. Like, you tell them what to do. Help them move. What is you doing, bro? What is you doing? Like, come on, bro. Like that. All the other stuff is soft. Stop acting so soft, man. You supposed to be the leader. Supposed to be the leader. Lead. All that. Oh no, like, I mean, like we we just gotta play better, do better. Be a brotherhood team. Cancel all the outside noise. Um, all the everybody. You know what I'm saying. I know people gonna say we're trash, whatever. So what? Like we gotta like stay together. And know we're a brotherhood and all these things and just keep everything together and close and we just go out there and battle. Man, stop all that. Stop all that. We want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about that. We don't want to hear about that. We want to hear about that. Wait, we need to see you on the sideline acting a fool. Come on, bro. Hey, shout out to CJ87 for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Unrealistic, but Gary Kubiak as an OC and decent O line could probably win a Super Bowl. Shout out to CJ87 for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. I do think the best person to call said offense, like to call that's the offense, is still Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle Shanahan is the best player, the best person to call that offense. I think Kyle Shanahan, even though Gary Kubiak as an OC in Denver won 2 Super Bowls, and then as a head coach in Denver won another Super Bowl, and as a head coach, which Kyle has been to a Super Bowl as an OC in Atlanta, and then went to 2 Super Bowls as a head coach uh in San Francisco, and has never won. He's 0-3 in his Super Bowl appearances, while Gary Kubiak in his Super Bowl appearances is 3-0. Well, actually, technically 4-0 because he actually has uh, a Super Bowl as a quarterbacks coach in San Francisco back in '95. But I do think that as far as play calling, I do think that which caller is better at calling plays. But I say all that to say this: it's not unrealistic. Gary Kubiak even said that hey, if D'Amico needs him, he would. If D'Amico needs him, he would show up. Um, I I wouldn't call Gary Kubiak because I would rather somebody else. I would rather somebody else call the offense. But I do think that Gary Kubiak could have CJ in this offense working a lot better. He definitely could have them working a lot better. But I would rather I have other people in mind. I got a list of people. Hey, if y'all haven't went, I have a poll on my channel right now. Go vote for who you think should be the OC. If you had a chance for those guys, go vote. There's 4 options there. I'm not going to name the options, so I want you to go there and see the options and vote. If you haven't, that's seen some people voted. If you haven't voted, go over there and vote. Because the reason why, because I'm gonna have a video based off of that poll, and so I want as many people to go. So go on the community wall right now, still up right now, and go vote. I got a video that I'm gonna do based off of that. I want y'all to see that, vote, and then I'm a video. I'm a video talking about that specifically. So, but let's get into the rest of week 4. Yeah, week 4. We on week 4. Rest of week 4. I'm going to week 4 across the NFL. So, uh, I think I'm gonna have Atlanta, not Atlanta, but Arizona. I think I'm gonna have Seattle defeating Arizona on Thursday Night Football. I think I'm gonna have it. I think I'm gonna call Seattle to beat Arizona. But anyway, the first game I got on the list is Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. They're playing overseas, if I'm not mistaken. So that game's gonna be like at 8 o'clock in the morning. So wake up in the morning. You got football at 8 o'clock in the morning. You got Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. I think Carson Wentz and Minnesota wins that game. I got Minnesota defeating Pittsburgh overseas. Next game is Washington at Atlanta. I think Atlanta needs to draft a quarterback pretty soon, but I have Atlanta beating Washington. I mean, Marcus Mariota is the quarterback this week, so I got Atlanta beating Washington. I got New Orleans. New Orleans is at Buffalo. I think New Orleans is going to be one of those teams competing for the number 1 overall pick. I got Buffalo defeating New Orleans. Cleveland at Detroit. I got Detroit defeating Cleveland. Carolina at New England. Carolina coming off was like a 30-0 win against Atlanta last week. I got New England defeating Carolina. The Chargers at the New York Giants. I got the Chargers getting their first loss of the season. I got the Giants defeating the Chargers. One, because remember the Giants are starting Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart's first game as an NFL starter. I got Jackson Dart getting his first career start, getting his first career win, defeating the Chargers. Philly at Tampa. Both these teams are 3-0. I got Tampa coming out the win and being 4-0. And I think Tampa might have a real good shot of potentially getting the number 1, potentially number 2, maybe even the number 1 seed. So I got Tampa defeating the Philadelphia Eagles. Indianapolis at the Rams. I actually ain't gonna lie. I went back and forth on this game. I really did. I went back and forth in this game of who I think is going to win, and I'm gonna settle with the Rams defeating Indy. But I would not be I would not be shocked at all if Indy defeats the Rams. But I got the Rams defeating Indy in this game. Jacksonville at San Francisco. I got San Francisco defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Baltimore at Kansas City. Baltimore needs this win in the worst way, because Baltimore can end up being 1-3. Baltimore needs this win in the worst way, but so does Kansas City, because Kansas City could be 1-3 as well. I have Kansas City defeating the Baltimore Ravens. Next is Chicago at Vegas. I think they starting to find something with Chicago. I have Chicago defeating Vegas. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay at Dallas. Michael Parsons goes back to Dallas. First time going to Dallas. Dallas coming off that bad performance defensively against the Bears. I got Dallas defeating Green Bay in Jerry World in Dallas on Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football, the Jets at Miami. Miami's one of the teams that I think that they just ready to get their coach fired. They ready to go. I have the Jets, even with Tyrod Taylor, getting their first win of the season and defeating Miami Dolphins. So I have Minnesota defeating Pittsburgh, Atlanta beating Washington, Buffalo beating New Orleans, Detroit beating Cleveland, New England beating Carolina, the Giants, the G-Men beating the Chargers, Tampa Bay defeating Philly, the Rams defeating Indy, San Francisco beating Jacksonville, KC, beating Baltimore, Chicago, beating Vegas, Dallas, beating Green Bay, and JTES, Jets, defeating the Miami Dolphins. That's what I have for week 4 in the season. And that's why I think will end up happening. I think those will be the games. I mean, there's a couple of them that probably surprises like the Giants defeating the Chargers, Dallas beating Green Bay. I know some people think that Kansas City defeating Baltimore is a surprise. Uh, I don't know why people think that Kansas City defeating Baltimore is a surprise. I don't get how that can be a surprise, but some people feel that way. But yeah, I know Dallas beating Green Bay is bold. I agree. I think it is, but I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Dallas gets the win and gets the dub. Just like unfortunately, I think that um unfortunately I think that Tennessee gets the dub against the I'm trying to list I'm really, really, really trying not to let this stress me out. I'm really trying. I'm really trying, y'all. I'm really trying not to let this stress me out because this offense is, like I said, so anemic. It's so bad. I really don't see a way. Offense so bad. I really don't see a way to be able to move the football consistently without like not even consistent. I really don't even see big plays. It'd be different. Like, okay, you can't move the football methodically, but at least you can get some chunk plays here and there. Like this offense is not even capable of even getting chunk plays outside of the 2 touchdowns. Both touchdowns that Nico had were, I think, one was like a 25-yard play, and then obviously last week was a 50-yard play. Like they're not able to they're not able to move the football now. You do got Will Anderson, who, like I said, Will Anderson is the only person on the Texans, in my opinion, that showed up this season and done his job. He has 3 sacks on the season. Nelson has 2 sacks on the season. I feel like that both of those guys can get to Cam Ward and possibly able to make some things move and shake and be able to move able to, stop the defenses and things like that. It would stop the offense rather and be able to, stop them. But man, I just don't know. I just don't know, y'all. I just don't. I just do not know. I don't 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 know what to do. Real talk, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I just think, unfortunately, the Texans' offense is just that bad. And like I said, because offense is that bad, a move is going to have to be made. It needs to be made. And like I said, I think it was Chris asked me earlier, what will happen if the Texans lose? If the Texans lose, a move needs to be made. Is you got to move on from your offensive coordinator. I mean, I guess maybe have him go to the Baltimore game, but then the Baltimore game shouldn't even matter. Like he needs to be gone by the bye week, and maybe you could try to reset and do something outside the bye week. But I mean, the Texans have started off. I think it was Gary Kubiak's. It was 2008. Texas started off 0-4 that season. Texas started off 0-4, and then bounced all the way back and were 7-7. It was 7-7 with 2 weeks to go, and they had the Raiders and who else? The Raiders and I think Jacksonville was their last game, and they had the chance to go 9-7 and potentially make the playoffs. They lost to the Raiders and Jamarcus Russell in Oakland, and then the winning the last game ended up being 8-8. But that Jamarcus Russell game cost their season as far as going 9-7. That could have been the Texans' first winning season. Texans' first winning season was the following season, 2009. Still missed the playoffs, but they were 9-7. Um, that was a chance that like that. And again, and the reason why I said it because D'Amico Ryans was on that team as a player, as a player on that team in 2018. So he's been through this before as far as a player, but never as a coach. Because San Francisco, as him being in San Francisco, he didn't deal with this in San Francisco as a coach, and obviously he hasn't dealt with this last 2 years in Houston as a head coach. But especially with expectations, and that 018 didn't have crazy expectations. They were 8-8 the year before, so they thought that they would be on the rise as far as potentially having a winning record. So I'm pretty sure start off 0-4 was not good, and they didn't like the way that felt starting off 0-4 the 2008 season. So, but they were able to get back to 500, and like I said, with 2 games left at 7-7, with 2 games left, and had a chance and opportunity to have a winning record, and end up not having a winning record, but also didn't have a losing record either. So it is what it is. But I do think that those opportunities can they be able to do some things. So you have to find a way to be able to have some things move and shake. You gotta find a way to do that. You gotta find a way like D'Amico Run's gonna have to go out there and have a real good coaching job. But again, like this game here, this can't just be just a regular um just a regular win. I do think if you win this game here, you have to win it in impressive fashion. You have to find a way to not just win this game. This has to be a BTA. This has to be a belt to ass game. This has to be a game where you put belt to ass. This has to be a game similar to that Cowboy game last year on Monday Night Football game. Like this got to be a game where you go out there and you thrash Tennessee. You go out there, you put points on the board. This has to be a game that you feel good. Then when you walk away with the win, you don't just walk away with a win. You walk away with a feeling good when you feel like you accomplished it. And the thing is, you could do all that and actually still not accomplish anything. Like you could do all that and still be the same anemic, bad offense that you are to this point. You just played against a worse defense. That could very well be the situation. But at the very least, at least have that feeling. Because if you don't, it's gonna be completely bad, bro. You gotta have some type of explosive offense. And you're right though. Was the old 3 Oilers did start off 1-4 and went what they go. They started off 1-4 and went. I think they finished 12-4 in the season. I think they won 11 straight, something like that. I think they were 12-4 or either 12-4 or 11-5. See, so I think either they won 11 straight or they went 10-1. I can't remember. I can't remember, but I do know. But then they also lost the first round of the playoffs to Kansas City in Joe Montana. Um, 12-4. They finished off 12-4. Okay, I thought so. I thought it was 12-4. I thought they won 11 straight. So like Houston in this history has had runs. You had that team, the 2003. The 1993 Oilers that started off 1-4 and then won 11 straight and went 12-4 and lost in the divisional round at home to Kansas City. And then you had the 2018 Texans started off 0-3, won 9 straight, went 11-5, and then lost their first playoff game too at home to Indy. So basically, what you're telling me is that the Texans could go on to a winning streak, get into the playoffs, win the division, and lose the first playoff game. That's what the history is telling me. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Man, appreciate everybody that came through here, man. If you hit the like button already, man, appreciate that. Thank you for hitting the like button. If you ain't hit the like button already, make sure you hit the like button right now. I'm gonna give y'all some time. Make sure you hit the like button right now. like I said, appreciate everybody that came through here. Definitely appreciate everybody that came through here. If you hit the like button already, make sure you hit the like button. If you ain't hit the like button already, make sure you hit the like button. Thank you for hitting the like button if you have. But if you haven't, make sure you hit the like button. I'm going to give you some more time. Hit that like button right now. Really appreciate that. Already. Really appreciate that. Shout out to everybody hit that super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Y'all know how much that means to me every time you hit that super chat love. That is very appreciated, man. I really appreciate every time you hit that super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate y'all hitting that super chat love. Like I said, definitely appreciate y'all pulling up on your boy. But this ain't it. Once you pull up on your boy, make sure you pull up on your boy tomorrow, because immediately after the game tomorrow, immediately after the game tomorrow, we going live. We gonna break down what we do. Was I right? Are the Texans gonna be 0-4? Or do we finally get off the losing column and finally get a win? And then if we do get a win, is it a belt to ass? Is it a BTA? Is it? Or is it just we beat Tennessee 14-13? Like I need to know. So we got to pull up. So make sure immediately after the game, y'all pull up right here. After the game, we going live. Immediately after the game, we gonna talk about. We gonna break down what we just seen, the good, the bad, the ugly, and how we feeling. Especially going to that game against Baltimore. But like I said, but make sure y'all pull up on your boy. Like I said, man, hit that like button. Like, oh, and all y'all are still in here right now. If you haven't got a chance, go on my community wall right now. Go on the community wall right now. Right now, there's a list of potential offensive coordinators. I'm not going to name them right now because I want you to see them when you see them. And I want you to vote. Pick which one you think could be the offensive coordinator. Because there will be a video. Maybe later on this week. Maybe by the weekend. I'm not really for sure exactly when I'm going to get a chance to do it. I got some stuff I got to do, so I got to make sure I'm going to get a chance to do it. But a video will be based off of that poll. So it's very key that y'all vote. And don't worry about who got the most right now. Don't worry about that. Just you go there. I don't care what it is. I don't care if somebody got 75% on one person and another person only got 2%. It don't matter. Vote for who you want. And if you don't mind, comment under who you voted for. Vote. I know such is leading, but I voted for this person because I think that they run an offense like this, or I think they can control the offense like that, or I like their play calling, or they got a good track record, whatever the case may be. So if you don't mind, also go and comment. If you already voted, but you ain't comment, go and leave a comment. Because again, all that, the voting board and the comments will be featured in the video when I do it. So when I do the video of the whole offensive coordinator thing, I'm going to use elements from the comments and also from the actual voting thing as well as part of the video. So I need y'all to go out there and do y'all part. Put y'all input in the video. That's how you put your input in the video. I'm giving y'all opportunity to go vote. So go over there, vote for who you think should be it, and comment who you voted for and why. And when the video come out, you're gonna be like, I got it now. So again, don't worry about who got the most or who got the least. Go out there and vote for who you want to be out there. Like I said, make sure y'all go do that immediately. As soon as I get off, as soon as this video ends, as soon as the live ends, go over there and do it. Y'all probably doing it right now. Y'all probably over there typing right now, and that's cool. Keep doing it. But go over there if you ain't did it, and if you already did it, hey, do it. Oh, and also leave a thumbs up on it too. That's another thing too. Like leave a thumbs up. So again, if you voted or if you ain't done nothing, go over there and vote. If you voted but you didn't leave no comment, go leave a comment. And if you voted and left the comment but you ain't like it, then go hit the like button on it. And if you ain't done none of it, make sure you do all of it. Make sure you vote, you like it, and you leave a comment. Because again, all these things will be featured and talked about in the video when I do it. So make sure y'all be on the lookout for that. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get my videos.